Okay, I did this before, but I'm going to do it again because I want to do it in the context of this piece of crap. That is what everybody's going on. They call it the difference article. It's posted by Haroon Sharif. It's been around for a while. But let's just get into it because it's a recycled piece of babble, which is crap. First of all, these scenes were done before reshoots, says Haroon Sharif, and were only shown to WB executives, aka idiots who don't appreciate art. If they were only shown to WB executives, then how did you get it? You're not WB executive, so I don't. So that immediately debunks everything he's about to say. But anyway, let's just go into it. Man of Steel answers, deals with this article, and it's really stupid. But here we go. Here we go. So you guys based your stuff on a lie. So even Man of Steel answer says, shown only to WB executives, so conveniently impossible to corroborate. Right? You're not supposed to get your hands on that, so how could it be shown to WB executives? But you got a screening of that? How did you get it? Justice League started with Bruce recruiting Aquaman. That's the first thing this guy says. Okay, right here. So he says, it begins with Bruce recruiting Aquaman. It's basically the same scene I saw in the theatrical version this weekend. However, some lines were added by Whedon, some Zack bits were cut. Aquaman was originally more resilient and shut off to Bruce here. Justice League started with Bruce recruiting Aquaman, or just a failure of imagination projecting the trailer directly onto the film. Because which Zack Snyder film has ever begun with the beginning of a trailer? None. Okay then. 3. Let's go to this here. He then says, deleted. Barry saving Iris West by breaking a glass. We saw that in the deleted cut. And it wasn't. He didn't save her by breaking a glass. What happened is he went through a glass window, and he ran out, and he saved Iris West. There's actual deleted footage of this thing, footage of the deleted stuff. It's not. It popped up on the internet and it disappeared. But you can. I think you can still find it somewhere. Here it is. So let me pop up on it for a minute. Just pop up here. So this. Somewhere here, I'll show you. They had to delete all the. Hey, there you go. Here's some footage. It's Barry going through the window. He's coming out there. There's Iris. The car is crashing. It's not fully rendered yet. It's still kind of CGI-ish. Here she is, and then the car careens and it blows up. And he saves her. All right. So that's some of the still footage of what was there. All right. They weren't in a library. There was none of that, okay? Okay. Let's keep it moving here. A history lesson, but just by some bits. I was most surprised by the WB cut out dialogue of Green Lantern, Zeus, and even Ares. Yes, he was there too. We know Ares was there. I saw Ares jump up in the air. They have a couple of lines each, as did Robin Wright and Hippolyta. They just kept in the action and clicked out the dialogue, I guess. And this is what Man of Steel's answers had to say. No dialogue during history lesson. Ares was already in the credits. Alright, so we know that Ares was there because we saw him in the credits. We know that Artemis was there. We know that Zeus was there. We even saw it in the trailers. Let me go on here. He talks about the mother box from Time Obscura. Steppenwolf actually talks to the box. His mother, Hegra's essence, is alive in mother boxes and bring them all together to unleash her powers, finally giving Steppenwolf an edge over his uncle Darkseid. That is what his plan was originally. I thought for sure they would keep this scene because of the dialogue. Man, this guy can lie. But he's going to get found out. No protectors here, no lanterns, the world will fall. You will be free, mother. Alright, so this whole thing was debunked this way. Using Geek Magazine's October issue, bungling of Darkseid's family tree as legitimate. So basically, in that, it talked about Hegra and all of that stuff, and that's where he got that idea from. Okay? It's going to talk about Cyborg. Cyborg's previous life, he plays a football match that his mother, yes, she was cast as well, attends. Afterwards, they drive home. Victor is angry that his dad never made it while his mother tries to console him. Victor just keeps getting angry and lashing out, loses control of the car, causing a fiery crash. Now, all of this is inventive. we know that his mother died and they died. His mother died in an accident with him. We don't know what the details of that are. So this guy just invented that. And this is what Man of Steel Answers had to say. We already knew by September 5th that Karen Bryson had been cast, and by October 15th, a promo event in the Philippines revealed the car crash origin. So apparently there was a car crash origin. So this guy's just borrowing from that. This guy's bluffing his way through. Longer, the Gordon scene had little setup, and I didn't see in the theatrical version. Gordon dismisses a junkie and tells him get a better life before another cop comes to him with drawings of parademons. His conversation with the League also ran longer. First he asks Wonder Woman if she's the same woman he keeps seeing in reports in London. Then he asks Cyborg how does he eat? Does he even need to? These are from interviews. They know that Cyborg, he doesn't need to eat because Ray Fisher was saying that. And then with the Wonder Woman, he keeps seeing reports in London. I don't know where he gets that from. That's stupid. But anyway, this is what we got to say about that. Apparently he doesn't have anything there, but you can see this guy is just pulling news items that are current, and he's incorporating into his lie. And this guy is lying through his teeth. He goes on to talk about the attack on Atlantis. Aquaman consults Miro on Vulko over what he should do next. Miro wants him to stay as king because she doesn't trust Orm. Vulko wants him to do what his heart says. Aquaman confesses he feels a responsibility to help the people on Earth. We already knew in June 2016 that Vulcan was cast, and the additional Atlantis scenes from verified leakers don't corroborate. So they're not consistent. Okay. The no protectors here we were talking about, which we saw somewhere around here, which was with Hegra. He's talking about no protectors here, no Atlantis will fall, you'll be free, mother. The deleted line no protectors means raising a dead Kryptonian, which, okay, we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, let's keep it moving. The League visits the Batcave. Alfred has humorous reactions to the League. Bruce Wayne talks about a nightmare he had. He believes that Steppenwolf will try and resurrect the power of Superman, and that they must do it first unless they want to fight an evil Kryptonian too. Deleted line, no protectors means raising a dead Kryptonian is unnecessary for Steppenwolf to win, and certainly unnecessary before Earth falls. Do it after winning. No race to resurrect. So there's no race to resurrect Superman, and therefore alright, let's just move on. Change. Superman's resurrection was only possible because Cyborg detects foreign genetic material in his DNA, aka the Codex. It's from Man of Steel. They're trying to use the Codex from Man of Steel. This is the final confirmation needed that Superman can be brought back to life after all. Then the revival happens pretty much the same. Here's the problem with that. Batman has no way to know about the Codex, or that Steppenwolf knows about the Codex, or that the Codex has anything to do with alleged resurrection without a ton of expositional technobabble. Which is true. Why would they need to know about the Codex? I'm just curious. The machine was fried, so how is he going to know about the Codex? Alright, let's keep it going. Deathstroke breaks Lex out of prison. They part ways because the cops are hot on their trail, deciding to meet up later at the location they discussed. And this is debunked this simple way. Post-credit scene filmed by Snyder included Lex escape decoy, meaning they never intended Deathstroke's breakout scene, because Lex intended to get out of there on the smart. You see? Let's move on. He's got a decoy already, so Lex already planned out his stuff. Deleted. Kent Farm. Superman brings Lois here, however, he's still very confused, not knowing what's happening. Bystanders are looking at him and clicking his photos. This confuses him further, and he tries to attack the civilians with his laser eyes before Lois manages to calm him down. Superman tells her that the voices won't shut up. Later, Martha shows up, and Clark and Lois are already inside the house. Clark is calmer now, but still very confused. His powers are going haywire, and his senses are heightened. Martin gives the picture of the world is an island. Follow my voice and come back to me. That sounds like bullshit. That they wouldn't do that. Why would they do that? Speech from Man of Steel. It seems to calm him down. Later, Clark is wearing his shirt when he sees Pa Kent. Yes, Costner was there too, out in the fields. He goes out to see him. This guy's got an active imagination. I give him that. Pa Kent talks about embracing who you really are. He tells Clark that you have to make peace with who you are. You have the power to change the world, and you can do that as anyone, good, correct, or bad. Clark finally embraces Superman's part of him when Lewis walks out. Why would he embrace Superman as himself? He already embraced that in BVS. Clark confirms their engagement. Lewis breaks down because she wasn't strong enough. Then Marta comes out too, and Clark decides to help the League and flies off. That's how it happened in my version. In your version, now he's exposing himself. He's saying my version, not Snyder's version anymore. I may have paraphrased some dialogue, but that's basically it. Yeah, that definitely is your version, buddy. Alright, this is the retort. This is the response. Man of Steel threatened my mother's scene. How far away from the farm was? And why would there be no bystanders? If there were, why do they evaporate from the scene? Because the author forgot them? In other words, he's saying, if there were bystanders there, which that would be ridiculous because they're so far away from anybody, but if there were bystanders there, let's just assume they were, and they were taking pictures like he claims, why are they not in the picture when we are looking at Lois Lane with Superman? They should be somewhere there, right? Let's keep it moving. He says, deleted. Clark heads up to meet Alfred and get his suit. I don't know about get his suit, but I do know that he does go to Alfred's place. That is definitely what happens. And let's see here. What else do we have here? Steppenwolf's second conversation with Hegra. Now he has all three mother boxes. So return to the swell can begin. Well, we already know there's nobody cast for Hegra. That's just one of the major things. And then he goes on to talk about Bruce's conversation with Diana after Superman returns. Diana comes in and pops Bruce's shoulder, tenses his earrings. Bruce reveals that he's willing to die to save the world. In fact, he says he deserves to die because of what he's done. He's killed people and nothing, not even his hate for Superman, can justify killing like that. Diana tells him he's changed now. But Bruce remains adamant that he can only atone himself by sacrificing his life. Hey, and this dude, and this is what Man of Steel says. Whoops, claiming a Whedon reshoot as a Snyder original. Tisk, tisk. Ooh. Then he goes on. Bruce's Batmobile is headed to certain death during the finale when Wonder Woman and Aquaman interfere to save his life. They tell him that dying in battle won't do anything. He must live to keep the fight going. Okay, let's just keep it moving. Obvious pandering fixes omitted when the film is desperate to include fixes. He misunderstands guilt and the hero sacrifices one thing, creating a suicidal narrative non-existent after BVS. Because Batman said, I won't fail him in life. So, Batman wasn't suicidal, in other words. And we already said no Hegra casting. Steppenwolf was killed by Darkseid on Apocalypse. Oh, this is the fight with Steppenwolf. This is just bullshit as usual. This guy's so filled with crap, man. He's got good imagination, though. Steppenwolf is killed by Darkseid on Apocalypse. Darkseid intends to come to Earth and meet the Kryptonian. Psst. LDN Film states Superman's scenes were not substantially different before or after reshoots in terms of content or substance or plot, mostly dialogue tweaks. There was no library used as a set or location. Alright, let me see what else we have here. Aquaman meets Mira off the village coast and agrees to come back. Barry steps in the library. Iris smiles at him cutely. Okay, so this is what didn't happen. Lewis introduces Perry White to Clark Kent, a.k.a. Superman. Shot of Lewis and Clark. Lawrence says Perry White wasn't shown. He wasn't available for a day's work on JL. I guess he modified that. But Lawrence Fisher never filmed anything for Justice League. So the guy tried to make an adaptation. And something about Cyborg. I guess the guy edited stuff so they don't have the Cyborg stuff in there anymore. But the bottom line is this. This is a bunch of baloney and somebody's imagination going wild, which you guys have been actually following as if it's the law and it's the truth and it's the life. And this has been this has been heavily debunked by Man of Steel answers. Just simple, logical, critical thinking. Okay, I want to just drop this article that was out way before Justice League came out in October 6th, and this was by Ray Fisher, who was playing Cyborg. He said this about the two directors. They are two very different people, but at the end of the day, they are two very different people who basically want the same thing, and that's to tell the best possible story for these characters and get them launched off in a really great direction. So what I think Just has come in and done is that he's found really good ways to bond the team. He found good ways to bond them organically, so it sets them up to go really anywhere in the future. While it's a different directing style, the fact that Zack had handed the reins to him is like, you just have to trust the process. While there wasn't a lot of time to build that rapport that you would normally have with the director, at the end of the day, it's about making sure that the fans have the best possible experience that we could possibly give them. So all of the rumor mill stuff, listen, I think there's a lot of needless negativity, and I'm personally dedicating myself to not becoming a part of that. And I really totally agree with Ray Fisher there. It was two different directors, but clearly Whedon was brought in to bring dialogue to knit the team together, which he very successfully did, actually. I do believe Ray goes on and says something extra. I can't remember where it is. Yes. So Whedon, they say so much crap, man. They say that it was extensive reshoots. It wasn't. You gotta, man, the media, man, they know how to clickbait you guys, man, and rope you guys in and make you guys feel that Whedon really did some kind of all new film. Okay, Danny Elfman was on there, so it was a different musical style. I know music can affect a film, but basically this film was going in the direction it was always going in. And as Ben Affleck was saying, and the entire crew, and even Deborah Snyder and everybody else, they were saying that there's only so much that Joss Whedon could have actually done anyway. So he was not going to heavily influence this film, and he didn't. And that's the facts of the matter. And anybody else who's disagreeing with that is ignoring the reality, the facts. I've given you guys everything. I've given you actors, what they said. I've given you footage. I've given you the trailers. I've given you concept art. I just gave you Man of Steel answers who debunked this dummy who had a whole bunch of rumors that came out of his head. He was just imagining a whole bunch of crap. And this is what you guys were going with. This came out on the 19th of November. And this is what you guys, oh, this was not a Zack Snyder film. You're following this dude. Now you must feel like a real ass. Because you should. Alright, guys. Debunked, debunked, debunked. You guys have a great one.